That's all you'll ever know him by, is Russell the engineer, because we have to keep him safe. Now let me ask you, we're recording again, and
okay.
let me ask you guys, first of all, this I believe that this has been going on for thousands of years, tens of thousands of years, maybe even hundreds of thousands of years on this planet. And
I agree. Billions of years on this planet.
I believe that.
Yeah, I agree. You know, even if you understand Scripture, not the way secular churches teach you, because they want to keep you still under your thumb. You know,
that's right.
Got to keep the people under control. And you know, the Scripture says itself, this earth is eons old. You know, it talks about the three heaven ages. We're in the second heaven age, or the second earth age. And this dispensation is because of what happened in the first one. People screwed up, you know. And the people screwed up, and so we're here in this one to see if we can get it right this time.
And whole 7,000 years ago, the whole planet was almost destroyed by, probably by celestial conjunction. I called it the, that's what I called it in my book 40 years ago, the conjunction.
Yeah, God did it. You know, with his God, he destroyed it all. That was about 70,000 years ago. God took all the land mass and put it underwater and let it sit there flooded for 40,000 years.
Why? What is the source of these UFOs? Did it come from our planet 100,000 years ago? Did it come from another galaxy? And I know, I think it would be absolutely egotistical and foolish of us to believe we were the only sentient beings that God created.
That's for sure.
And with billions,
different people.
With billions,
God even lists all the different types of beings He created, and He calls them, you know, angels, cherubim, seraphims, and all this different stuff. And He refers to Satan as a serpent in the Garden of Eden. Okay. And that's where people get reptilians at, all right? And they break things down like that. It's just people's way of being able to better understand something that they're not totally have their brain turned on yet. Like I told you, when I went to heaven, you know, I visited with the Lord for a little bit, and they took me to a place where I was going to rest. Before they took me to the place where I was going to rest, the Lord, which would have been Christ that walked the earth, He said to me, He says, stand here and behold. And I looked forward, and I saw what looked like scrolls that went on as far as the eye could see. And they said, you're going to like this. And next thing I know, these things start just coming right at me, and they're going in my mind. I'm having all this knowledge just filling in my head. And I said, you know, how am I going to be able to handle all this, Lord? And He says, it's not knowledge put in your head. It's the switches being turned back on in your brain. You're only using 12% of your brain. Now you're going to be using your whole brain. Wow. You know? And before that, I had a 186 IQ. I don't know what my IQ would be right now. Yeah, I don't know what it would be. So I've got knowledge in my head that I'm allowed to talk about. There's knowledge in my head that I'm not allowed to talk about yet because we're not able to deal with it. You know, there's certain parts of it. Oh yeah, like, well, you know, you could take the stuff that they have on board one of those ships, and like it describes in the book of Ezekiel, you know, these things can move like a bolt of lightning out and back, you know? Okay, like a bolt of lightning. They can move at the speed of light on the earth, in other words. Just as fast as lightning moves, they can move inside the atmosphere of the earth that quick. Well, and that's something that's there that's not supposed to be there and come right back. And that's exactly what it says in the book of Ezekiel. Chapters 1 and chapters 10. You can read about it. They went over and took fire from the altar of God. Fire out of the ship, carried it in and lit the fire in the sanctuary. You know, the whole place filled with smoke and everything from it. You know, and one of the seraphim did that. They were able to carry that hot stuff over there and set it in there and start the altar of the Lord's fire. You know, so it was clean. You know, and it wasn't something by man's creation. But at the same time, yeah, they've been around. I mean, now, they're the ones. If you look at NASA real quick, just before you jump in there, Clay, NASA has captured lots of images. And I've been sitting on the space telescopes and watching them since they turned them on to general public view for the last 8 years, 10 years. Okay? And I've been capturing the images once they started looking in a certain direction, because 16 years ago, I got to see in that direction, and in that direction, God, as the creator of the universe, has documented all this throughout creation. And you can see an arm in space. It's a nebula made up of gases and everything. And at the tips of the finger is the universe being created, and you can't see another star anywhere else in the picture in the image whatsoever. And that's out there, but is NASA going to put it up for you to see it? No. Do I have a copy of it? Yes. Because they wanted me to put a red, yellow, or green on it. Red, it's no good. Yellow, it's, hey, caution, what do you guys want to do with it? Green, hey, it's okay, put it on. Because they don't have time to review all the images.
Let me
put a green on it.
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Why is the government, the powers that be, trying to limit the knowledge of these UFOs, this type of transportation, this type of technology? I mean, with the Tesla the Tesla convention, one of the things I was really struck as is that between Walter Russell, who we featured yesterday, his science of the electric universe, which I think is pretty probably more accurate than Einstein's theories.
Well, they're all both accurate. They're both accurate in their own ways.
Okay.
There's a lot of both right.
But why is the government not wanting us to know about that? Are they just afraid that if the average American, the man on the street in America, knew that we had the ability to fly to the moon and back, and instantaneous transportation, and that we wouldn't be nearly so happy about buying all this gasoline, all this fuel?
Chuck's time on the air here at all.
Oh, but that's okay. I'm enjoying the heck out of this.
If you really want to know what's going on, okay, the woman earlier said that they crashed to say that, you know, to show that they're friendly, and you know, that's more like a thing to get them to think, you know, hey, you know, look, we're sick, you know, we're hurt, you know, we need your help, and stuff like this, and that's to play a mind game on us. All right, we know our government is corrupt. We know our government is evil. We know our government doesn't work for us. We know our government is self-supporting and self-serving. But it's like Bill Clinton said, and I don't like much of what Bill Clinton said most of the time, but he said one thing. There's a government inside the government that he has no control over. And he's supposed to be the president, okay? And that's one of the first presidents to come forward and admit that, and that's probably the only true thing he said in his whole reign in administration. You know, I mean, sex isn't sex when you're having oral sex. You know, why do they call it oral sex then, good shit, you know? But, you know, my whole feelings about it is this. My understanding, the way I've seen it, is right now we're in a situation where we've got a lot of evil things working around us to try to see if we're going to take that road or this road. Why does the government press us with the knowledge that have it, come forward and do it? If you come forward with this knowledge and free the people from the tyranny of the government over top of us and the controls of the government over top of us, and they make these devices like I'm talking about, well, you can generate a field around you and they can shoot any damn thing they want at you and they're not going to be able to hurt you. My goodness. Because you're just thinking, that same little universe that your ship slips inside of, well, it's just like, you know, having a shield around you because it's electromagnetic field like around the Earth that stops cosmic rays from penetrating the Earth and causes the northern and southern lights, called the aurora borealis up north and the southern lights below. And these cosmic rays are things, particles coming from the sun. You know, they're radioactive particles coming from the sun. That's why I have to say, you know, no, it's not just an electromagnetic plasma ball out there. It's got radiation to it, so there is some kind of radiation infusion happening inside of it. You know, and I wanted to tell the guys that. I said, how do you explain this? We sent probes to it, and the probes say, you know, that this is got a hell of a lot more radiation when they got the Venus and when they got the Mercury. You know, we've sent lots of probes out, and they tell us this information back, you know, to tell us what our sun is doing, you know, what a star does. But how does it say in a sphere like that? You know, it is, that part of it is magnetism. You know, everything out there has, you know, a compound to it. It's mostly all based with carbon. A lot of it's based with silica. A lot of it is based with a lot of other things. If I said it, people wouldn't even begin to able to comprehend it. But it's like your little web piece. You know, that's just, it can be a storage bank for information, you know, so that they can access things that they've seen. Because they come here, they make recordings of everything they're seeing, then they go back, and the Lord, you know, look, it's like he says, you know, on the sheep that has 7 eyes, and these are the 7 spirits of God. that travel to and fro upon the earth, watching what's going on to see when the time happens. Well, he's watching the progress of this earth and where we're at to see when it's time to kick Satan and all his cohorts butt out upon the earth to, say, hey, guess what? You got all this stuff coming down, and it's time now to do his thing. Let me say this: isn't it possible that we've got all these movies out about the aliens invading the earth, the H.G. Wells crap to scare the crap out of people? Isn't it possible that these small grays that are flying around, at least a number of them, are the good guys? Maybe they're just better suited to life in that kind of limited atmosphere, and they're sent here to gather information, just like as you said. That doesn't mean they're bad guys. That doesn't mean they're evil. And maybe they're grading us. I kind of like that thought of it. They're giving us a grade. Now, the ones that look like us, okay, they're the ones that stay in the presence of the Lord. The others have been cast into the outer darkness because they left their heavenly habitation. Okay, they left their first habitation was supposed to be with the Lord. And they could travel all over the universe to see all kinds of things that are awesome out there. There's all kinds of great things out there. I got to go and see with the Lord. He took me. And it was done in an instant. You just disappear here, basically, and go through what some people would call a wormhole. It's not really a wormhole. It's you're slipping through a dimensional plane. And you pop out on the other side. It's like holding space and time. So no time has passed. But if you want to fold the time and come back all the way, so you're looking at a star right now in the sky, and the stars, that's billions and billions of years ago. But you want to go see what happened at the time that you're looking at it right now, well, they can fold space and do that. But why and what are they doing? Why are these ones graves and they do these evil things and take people and put little things in them and impregnate women and take babies from them? Because they're outside the presence of God's glory that sustains that spiritual body, and they're withering. And they're constantly being exposed to electromagnetic bombardment from their own vessels. And they don't have the rejuvenation power that comes from being in the presence of Him, because He is a very, very powerful being. He is like it says, He is an all-consuming fire if you see Him in that form. So He would consume anything in anything in His path that's not with Him at that time. If you're against Him, you're either with Him or against Him. You either believe in Him and accept Him, and accept what He says that He said.
Russell, I'm gonna let you off here, because but I'll let you keep listening on the air like this.
That's fine.
And I do want to finish up with my guest here, and Chuck.
Yeah, please do.
But I appreciate your input, and let me just announce what my suggestion is to you. Because you and Paul Pantone backed this up. He created a device like yours, and he tore it apart too for the same reason you did, because nobody wanted to be killed. Well, they've tried to kill me they've tried to kill me 3 times, so I don't really worry about it, And you're not worried about it either, because you know that the death ain't the end of us. So let me say what I propose. I propose you build one of these generators in a suitcase size or briefcase size form, and I will take it and sit down and right in front of the police station or the governor's office or the mayor's office or the sheriff's office and run this publicly and invite the press to watch it and film it and watch me run my computer, run my radio show off of your device. And if you can do that, it would become proprietary information for the Liberty Village Project, which is a renewal of the self-sufficient family farm. That's my plans here, and also my plans are to keep expanding this radio show, so minds like yours and people that have been doing the work of Chuck Wade here to do the research to get to the truth will be venerated in history the way they should be.
Well, I like what Chuck's doing, honestly, Chuck. I wanted to thank you for what you're doing and going out and find the parts and pieces, because where we grew up in Kentucky, my mom and them and stuff like that, in Ohio and Illinois and all those areas up in there. We grew up in Kentucky, Ohio, Illinois, and that area up there. We moved around a lot when we was young. And all through those mountains and stuff up there was, you know, in the cover of the mountains, those ships would fly along and look at the people. Wow. And there's booths of pictures taken from all the newspapers. We got them out of Ohio. We've got some out of Tennessee, some out of Kentucky, some out of Missouri. And, you know, these ships that were taking pictures of, they were flying along and hovering right over the houses. You know, with the kids and the family standing there, and they're perfect pictures of them. I mean, they were publishing newspapers. And what you're doing and what you got, yeah, I would love to get a whole piece of that in my hand. That would be awesome. You know? Okay. And look at it and analyze it, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the science of all this.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
That's out of the question.
Chuck, if you want to give your, it's my policy, which I've never violated in 20 years. I do not give out people's phone numbers or people's names, because you know, that's just too dangerous.
You can exchange his number through you, Craig.
Okay.
For me.
But my email email address is on the website, so just email me, Russell.
Well, okay. Yeah, send him an email.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Put the word
and on the subject line, put UFO metal and that.
And Chuck, for you, just add me so I can bring you back on easily on Skype.
Okay, yeah. My wife will have to do that. I have no idea how to run a computer. I was always out working, but my wife and kids are wonderful.
Okay.
I didn't know much about computers either, and when I came back, I could build them.
My God, isn't that amazing?
Now, what do you think about that idea? Setting this thing up and asking the press to come in. Come in. You say we're kooks. Here, I'm going to run my computer. I'm going to run this lamp off. I'm going to sit right here in this chair right here while you film this.
I'll tell you what. I'll bring my lawn chair and I'll sit with you.
Me too.
Gladly.
I think that's what we need to do. I mean, look, you know, at the Tesla conference, there was no one there outside of Paul Pantone with a runner motor.
I would have been there with one if they would have been on the airplane.
They wouldn't let you on the airplane. That's right.
It was just an example. It's just like it would be complete, but it's an example to show that there's no need for bearings, bushings, brushes, and stuff like that in a motor anymore. The way the internal combustion engine is designed is totally, it's totally self-destructive.
All you got to do is drive through New Mexico, Russell, and get your butt over here.
It'll happen. I'm just in the process of piecing something together again, and I'm going to be getting together with Paul here sometime in the near distant future, and we're going to talk and put our heads together, and it's going to be a fun time. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'd be happy to run over to Paul's and meet you over there. Paul and I've been friends for 25 years, and
where about Chuck located at?
Chuck?
New Mexico.
You're in New Mexico. Cool.
Yes.
What part? What part?
Yeah, right next to Arizona.
Oh, next to Arizona?
Russell?
Okay, I lived in New Mexico.
I'm in the big Lone Star State. I don't like to say that, but I am. There, it's a big state. They could try to find me in that one. Well, I'm going to look underneath a billion rocks.
Yeah, my dad was born in Texas, and so is our son. So I'm partial also to Texas.
Yeah, my bouncer, Ornery Old Fart, is from Tyler in my chat room. He's the one that kicks all the trolls out. So.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, there's no idiots or assholes allowed in my room except for me. You know.
Yeah. I wasn't trying to steal your time, Chuck, but when I heard that, I had to call in when you was talking about that. I was listening, so I called in. And I forgot I didn't turn my thing off so they could see me. But that what you're describing, it sounds like either a memory bank or a storage bank. All you need to start the motor back up to say you shut it down for a while, let it sit there. You don't willingly just shut one down if you don't want to, okay? So they can sit there and spin without doing nothing. You know, you just turn all the stuff off and it doesn't do nothing. It's just sitting there spinning, and you disengage the parts that make electricity, okay? And that can make electromagnetism. You just disengage those parts of it, and it just sits there on the ground. And yet you go in and look at that motor, and it's still spinning, you know, at what would be 1,000 revolutions per second, which is which is, you know, a 60,000 RPM.
That's 66 K.
Yeah, 60,000 revolutions per minute. You know, and that's some pretty fast shit. But the thing is, it's not self-destructive. You know, the faster it goes, the more it compresses and condenses itself, and that's where it starts making plasma. Because it starts making just like its own little field around it, and the energy expands outward. And you don't have just one on there, you got several on there. That's why they stack like gyros and stabilize the thing. And, I mean, you could drop the moon on the thing, field engaged, and it wouldn't change its position and its attitude in the universe, because it's like a gravity well of the sun. You know, that's how they work. That's why they can just go straight along, make a 90-degree turn right, or come 180 degrees backwards. I got film from NASA that I put up for people to look at, where they're firing stuff from Earth at these ships.
Yes, I've seen that. One of
particle weapons, ion cannons, stuff like that. They're doing that stuff, and you know, I'm glad you're on there, because I was like, man, this guy's got parts for this stuff. You know, because the metallurgy on that, you're going to find out. You know, was it ferrous or non-ferrous that you were detecting it on when you were using your metal detectors?
I wouldn't know the difference. I'm a civil engineer. That's totally out of my realm. But look on my website. There is a major analysis of 6 pieces. The scientist looked for like 60 elements. He found over 50 elements in 6 pieces. And he says that honeycomb thing is extremely complex.
And I love to look at that, because, you know, I got the ride on it, and I got the B on it and stuff like that, and, you know, you're not that far.
We'll make that happen. You can see that on your way out. Yeah. On your way out here. We're out of time, guys. Folks, if you've been listening, support the Free American. Make a donation. Order a book. $20 donation will get you a PDF of any one of my 3 books, and working on the 4th. You tell people about this radio show. It's freeamerican.com. freeamerican.com, and you can see the plan for what Russell and I is going to be my engineer on the Liberty Villages project, which is getting back for generating our own power and growing our own food and doing what the Bible told us to do. Come out of her.
Living like my ancestors did, be in harmony with the land.
And that's why the whole Liberty Villages are designed around the Indian teepees, because you need to be closer to the ground. And besides that, they don't have any corners evil spirits can hide in. Guys, thank you all for being on.
One more thing before we take off.
Go ahead.
You say you're going to put a garden.
Yes, sir.
I request that you put like 10% by weight of magnetite in that garden. That thing will become a Garden of Eden.
All right. We will do that. I'll get that from Joe. I'll get that from Joe Newman right here in New Mexico, who comes to our breakfast club.
Right.
And folks, you're invited to come to the breakfast club. We're out of time here, guys. Got to go. Thank you very much for being with me.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
It's been a pleasure, Chuck.
Bye bye now.
What's your website?
Free American. Chuck's website is it's on my website. It's all linked. ChuckWade2.wmv.
WADEUFO.com?
Yes.
That is correct.
Okay. I'll talk to you in a little bit.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Take care, buddy.
Let me see here. What do I got to do here? Okay, I got to do this.
Call recording has been completed.
And then I can do this. Adios. FreeAmerican.com. Clay at FreeAmerican.com is my address. Let me hear from you. thanks for listening. Now we got 355 people listening. So, folks, you want to understand what happened, go to freeamerican.com and listen to the show. Click on the name of my guest, Chuck Wade, and pick up on freeamerican.com. There's a place to put in a donation. $20, you can get the PDF version. $35, you can get the hard copy. We got them in stock. We also got them in large print for $45, but that's what this one is, the large print. Easy to read. Check it out. We've also got my fiction books. One Bloody Alabaster Eye and Deadly Flashes of Silver. That's in the same vein as John Donald's Travis McGee series, fiction, but it'll bring you a lot closer to reality than you would believe. Now, we're still up on the channel here, still up, still broadcasting, and still listening, but I like to listen to a little bit of music when we get a chance. So one of my theme songs here. I got to run to keep from hiding, and I'm bound to keep on riding. I've got one more silver dollar, but I'm not gonna let them catch me, no. Not gonna let them catch the midnight ride. Well, we got this many people. Let me share something with us. Let me share something with you. I had this marked. Well, we still got people on here listening.